Hey, hold on, guys. I got lots to talk about. It's been a while since I've been on, and a lot going on. I'm getting ready for the trucking webinar, the last night of it tonight. So I wanted to come on because a lot of stuff's happening, different things. And I see all the comments, and I feel bad about like a lot of things. And I wanted to come on and chat about dispatching and freight and spot market and different things. Can anybody hear me? Am I on? Maybe. Maybe people will come on. It's like 4 o'clock. Well, anyways, you guys can check this video out later. I'll have it at the page. I'll have it on top of the group. You know, I always wonder when I'm going through a lot of these groups, and I get a lot of calls all the time. Like every day, I get insurance calls, equipment financing, and stuff like that. And you go through these groups and you see all these people that are starting brokerages. They're rolling in the trucking companies. They're getting started, and literally, I get a lot of calls. And unfortunately, you always see this, right? You see it in 2001, 2008, all these different years where it goes up and down, people jump in, but we never seen it like the social media world. And, you see these guys that are buying F550s, people buying box trucks, people getting into semis, they're hiring drivers, and they have this concept of just going out and buying insurance for $20,000 and just getting a dispatching service and a dispatching service. Can anybody hear me? Everybody hear me? I see people rolling in. I had it going again a minute ago on Facebook, and I was doing the Facebook Live thing, but I can't tell how many people are on there, if it's in the groups or not, or what's going on. But man, I had some really good information I want to put out about what's going on with the spot market, the seasons on the map behind my head, the regions, and how everybody thinks we're going back to normal. It's really crazy too, right? You look at it. What is there, like 1.5 million carriers, and then there's what, 5 million trucks, and there's 5 million trucks, and all these trucks have to run freight. And it's funny because you see customers and you see brokers and all these things going on and all these comments flying around, but I've never once seen a customer or broker be able to move a load without a truck. Like, I don't know how it happens. Like, they can't move it. Like, these guys that are on the phone on the load boards, they can't move it without having trucks. I mean, trucks dictate the market. Everybody does, and the problem is different trucking companies have different circumstances. Some have company drivers to feed, some have owner operators to feed, and some people aren't even feeding themselves, and a lot of people right now are starting trucking companies. Like, we see 2,700 authorities have bad days on Monday. Just in one day, 2,700 MC numbers gone out the door. And I've never seen so many revokes, like revokes left and right. Revoke, 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 revoke. And if you guys don't believe me, just go to FMCSA, like the saver, and go down to license and insuring, go up to the top, click FMCSA Register, click a PDF, and just start reading. Voluntary. Revokes. And it sucks because that's what makes this group so good, right? We love helping people. It's not about the money or the classes. Of course, you got to have money to keep going. You know what I mean? You can't just do everything for free. We wish we could. Some big guy out of the sky come in and just pay us to do stuff. And so way you could go out there and just train and educate the masses. You know what I mean? That would be awesome. I would love to be able to go to each company and work with them and just like for free and help them sell and help them turn around and teach them about liability and claims and risk and why when the fucking driver quits, you're going to be stuck in it. And like, what is the difference between dispatchers and carriers right now whenever you're all calling the same load boards? You're all calling the same load boards. They're just gonna make more calls, and then by the time they call you back to see if they get the load, it's going to be gone because there's more freight and more trucks in the spot market sector than there is on the load boards than what there is freight. They don't have to give it to you. Like the negotiation skills of people is so poor, and other people are allowing other people to do it that never even own the trucking company. They don't even have a clue. Whenever the freight stops, a dispatcher moves on to another carrier because they've never been smart enough to build a company because they work for 30 different ones, if they even do that at all. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. It's like it's so a free for all. And I feel bad because I see one hotshot guy on Facebook after another hotshot guy on Facebook, and still going to Denver. They're still chasing freight out these places, and they're sitting at these truck stops now for 2 or 3 days, waiting for loads to pop up because they can't justify hauling cheap freight. But then they don't have the money. I mean, you don't have the money to do anything because you don't understand your numbers because you can't look past 2 days or one quick pay to the next. I mean, literally, you're using one load to pay for the business as you do the next load. But just like 2 months ago, everybody was talking about how the money's just flying off the hinges. Everybody's doing $10,000 and $20,000. It's crazy because you talk to these people and you're like, you're buying a truck, right? Yeah, and you're buying a truck, right? Yeah, you are. And you're gonna put a driver in, right? Yeah, and your insurance quotes $20,000. That's $500 a week, literally. $500 a week, guys, for insurance. And then your truck is 69 miles a gallon. It's going to burn 18 to 2,500 in fuel. And then you got to take that truck payment that you're so desperately trying to get in, that truck payment that you want to get in. You got to take that truck payment. It's going to be, your truck payments right now is going to be $800,000 a week, not a month, a week. And then you guys got to put away $15,000 a week. That's not your paycheck. That is your money that you have to put away to cover this downtime, the maintenance, the stuff that's going on when your truck ain't running. You talk to so many people that have one truck authorities, and even in the best times at the end of the year, they probably only net like 30,000 a truck. You always say you made a lot last year, but what is your plan? Is it for last year, next year, or the next 50 weeks? I mean, because you got to make the money every week. And how long can you sit there and let these people work on your behalf, right? For you. And all they say is, well, we're trying, man. I don't know. The load boards suck. The market's falling out. I don't know, man. We're making the calls like crazy. It's good last week. Well, you guys said it was great. I'm giving you 10 and 12%. Yeah, I know. But, for me, it's okay because if I get one load this week, I make $700. And at Taco Bell, I wasn't making that. And you're out here feeding this, getting fed this shit from people that all they know how to do is work for factory companies to get leads. Now they got some fucking pudgy fat bastard fucking telling them how to buy trailers. Well, even if you buy trailers, right, and you lease these to the owner operators, if you don't have the freight to back it up and you don't have the lanes as a dispatcher that doesn't own the trucking company, you only represent that guy so long. It's not your trucking company. Is it? Just because you lock that guy into your trailer and you're wiping him out for a $1,500 deposit, $1,500 deposit, and you're waxing them for fucking $600-700 a week for a trailer. You think you're proud of yourself? That's intelligent company decision. You guys allow these people happen. Do you realize my next broker training is May 16th? It's on the website, but always do all three. It's crazy. And you see this one to the next. You see all these people, one after another, with no fucking plan. None. And they don't even have a plan for 50 weeks. It's not today or tomorrow. You guys, you have to make yourself a paycheck. You have to count for the driver's pay. You have to be counted for fixed costs and escrow. And these guys, they with these expense sheets, and you got to know how to run. How are you afford to pay these people? How? When you need to do it, when the numbers change. You guys realize people are posted all over Facebook, right? All over Facebook that the rates are dropping, this is happening. Other people are sitting back like Boss Hog eating a fucking chicken wing, laughing their fucking ass off because it's going up and down. Fun. That's not fun. Like being good paychecks one week and not the paycheck the next week and then sitting. It's not fun. And I know you guys don't want to hear me talk. I mean, because obviously, unless we're getting censored by Facebook or something, but please share the videos because we need to talk to people. Like, we have a guy named Marine Mike that he calls himself. He's from the veterans group, right? And he called me up like a month ago, right? He's chasing freight. He's almost broke. He's not seeing his kids. He tells me about the swimming story. And I'm like, dude, just all you got to do is start learning to post with the directions, search with the directions, start telling customers and brokers what you need. And they're like, he's like, man, and then he told me he did a little research and he started doing it. He can't even keep up with the freight that he's getting right now. People are calling him with loads that pay really, really good. Like he's off by 2 o'clock every day with a hot shot. And he hasn't even left like a 150-mile radius of his house. And this guy lives in the freaking Northeast and it's military stuff that he's getting. And they're paying him really good. And these guys, he hasn't been on a load board in 3 weeks. He did one thing that changed his whole life and he don't even need to use DAT no more. That's it. He just uses it to let people know where he's going. And that's the problem because when we're dispatchers, we can't book too far ahead because we use fucking people like TQL, CH Robinson, Coyote, Alan Lund, and all those guys. And we don't know no better because we're not invested to our trucking company. We're invested to feeding ourselves. And then you trucking companies allow people to do this to you. I know this. I was the one doing it to you. That's the fucked up part. I did it to people for almost 10 years. I was the guy teaching people to go out and do this to you, get you, control you. But I didn't charge percentages, though. That's dumb because I'm not working for nobody for free. I always charge my fee up front in 7 days. If you didn't like it, who cares? But, because I'm not going to work for free. If I do 10 trucks, I want to know I'm making $150,000 a year. That's like if I buy a semi truck, I want to know that I'm going to clear $2,500 a week, pay that guy so he'll love being here and cover all my expenses and stop borrowing from my pay for fixed costs and escrow. And you're like, well, I wish it was so easy, and that's the thing, because when you allow people to run your trucking company and allow people not to let you build network, guys, they just post it all over the place, the spot market shit, but the contract rate is through the roof. It's never been as high. Do you know what contract rate type stuff is? It's called relationships. And no, those are relationships. You're like, nobody wants to do relationships now. You'd be surprised who still wants to build relationships, because some brokers know what's coming. It flips again. And see, the smart guys are the ones that go out there and learn about diversity and how to build a network and how to build dedicated local rates, how to get home, how to build something that's 50 weeks. And that's not this week, something where we can work with people 30 and 40 and 50 days at a time. You know what I mean? And you start working certain areas all the time. You don't just go all over the place, chase where the money's at. That is the dumbest term that anybody's ever come. I just chase the money. I chase the money like crazy. Then if the money's not there, I park my truck. Well, how does the guy do that with more mouths to feed, people that he has to feed? And these new brokers that are coming out, they're not going to do anything either. You're not going to call broker customers all day long and get them because, one, you don't know how to talk trucking. Two, they don't need you right now. There's so many brokers calling them, and if you don't have the trucks, I'm so tired of being in groups where people are like, that guy's dumb. You don't get the trucks first. No, you understand the customers you're going after, the type of freight they're moving, the things they need. Then you go and get the carriers, and then you go back to the customers because you have to have the carriers when you're new with no credit guaranteed to go. And I'm not talking about 3,000 broker packets on freaking you got from Facebook. You shouldn't even be on Facebook because the guys that are working on Facebook, just people are lost, confused, being misled like sheep, goats. Those guys are on Facebook, dispatching is so important for a business because, if you really think about it, trucking is the trucking side of the terminology is where you do an orientation, you control the guy, you lay out the rules, and then you go into a process where you provide him a great product that he can make money. You guys, most of you people, your orientation and 2 hours, right? 2 hours, give them the keys, couple hours, fill out some stuff, let some company do it for you. And then you wonder why your trucking company's fucked because all you did is go and run them through the MVR, get a little insurance check, and then he may have done a background check, the references, but you don't know nothing about his out of services, his violations, how you're so hard up just to get a guy because your truck's sitting empty because some fucking factory company YouTube person told you it's the greatest idea in the world to buy a box truck. It's a hot shot or freaking a company truck and put somebody in it instead of learning how to diversify and owner operators. I mean, think about it. How many people started their trucking company that roll past my videos a year ago? And when the guys told you about buying a truck, either the numbers are great, the dispatcher's good, everybody's chasing freight. But as soon as that guy sit the first time or the mistake started happening the second time, third time, he's going to be sitting. Now he's fucking gone. It's done. The dispatcher can't do nothing for you. You didn't build a product and you're screwed. And then the first time it breaks down, well, what are you going to do if you don't have any diversity as a one truck company? That means owner operators, or maybe you have a brokerage. And oh, well, you can't have a brokerage with one truck. Well, oh, what was a bro? You haven't even got customers yet with a trucking company. You already opened a brokerage and you don't even know what to do with it. I get it. Why would you open a brokerage as a trucking company? To help diversify your company for multiple streams of income to be able to handle the freight and use other carriers to serve as a customer, or just for the hell of it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking at Facebook and YouTube and everything going on, and it's like a free for all. You got hotshot guys sitting everywhere, people coming in saying, "I need another dispatcher now," and I'm like, "Well, if it's your third or fourth one, why do you? I mean, what do you think the next guy's going to do? Call the same brokers the last guy was calling, saying, "Yo, yeah, can you give me another 100 on that?" No, okay. Do you want it? I mean, that's all they're going to give me on it. And I could have did that myself. That's all right. I'll do it for you and take 10% off the top of it while you're at it because I know you're already fucking broke. You know, I mean, what is going on? I mean, guys, there's so much more stuff you can do. You got to spend some time and take a real dispatching webinar that means more than just going on a low board, uh, filling out broker packets, working with a factory company, taking sweet little dish packages at a truck stop, and going on FMCSA saying, "Hey, man, I'm the best thing since sliced butter, man. I charge 8-9%. I'll make sure you move them, keep you loaded. I'm available 24/7 because I like working 24/7 for nothing. I know you don't have to pay me till you get a load in. The more you haul, the better you're off." Well, is that like this week, or so you got to do that for 50 weeks? Um, 50 weeks? Or what are you going to do? You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, like, why does everybody do 2 days? Their product goes 2 days. We book out like 2 days, and that's as far as we can go. I mean, why can't you start learning to find the customers, find the brokers, and tell them what you need? That 150-mile radius, that 300-mile dedicated out and back. And why can't you network? I mean, why don't you guys do this stuff? I just, it blows me away. Can anybody hear me? Because like my whole screen thing's like going nuts. I usually have so weird. I think we're getting regulated by Facebook. Anybody hear me? Is my signal going in and out? Cool. I was just checking. Okay, cool. Oh, there's everybody. It's just my signal slow. It's like crazy. All right. So, tell me what you guys have questions about. I got a few minutes. I'm going to spend like 20 more minutes on it. Tell me what you guys are having problems. Why are you guys on the phone? I mean, what is going on? Like, tell me. Keep talking, bro. All right. So, I just want to make sure because if I'm wasting your guys' time, you let me know because, I wanted to, I came on here because I'm in fucking like 480 groups and I see hotshot guys begging for more help because they don't know what they're doing. They're not networking. There's nobody's building relationships. Now there's no relationships to build because you can't network. So okay. So let me understand this right? So let me get this. So Heather says it's the fuel, Heather Huntley. So why is everybody going the fuel, right? So like, okay. So if I get my calculator out, I look, and I think ahead. I'm like, Heather goes, well, my truck this week burned $2,000 in fuel. All right. So last 2 weeks, it burned $2,000 in fuel. A couple weeks before that, it burned $2,000 in fuel. So then, and that's before you have your fuel discounts, like when you use Wax or FTS, like we have, and you take off like 20, 30, like the 50 cents off or 80 cents off, those type of fuel stops. Then you got the mom and pops and stuff. So that comes off too, right? So we're not even going to talk about fuel discounts like off the card. We're not going to talk about fuel surcharge anything because it just hurts your little brain when you're doing it. So check it out. So I'm going to say for the last 3 weeks, I've been burning at least $2,000 in fuel. Let's see. So then I'm going to say that I need. My truck payment is $2,000 a month. So I'm going to take 500. I'm going to add that. See, listen, stay with me here. So then I'm going to say I bought a trailer. My trailer is 300 a week, right? Because it's 1,200 a month. Really high because everything's inflated, right? So then I'm gonna say my insurance is one of you guys is insurance. Let me think here. All you newbies out here, your insurance is anywhere from 15,000 to 22. So we're gonna go with your insurance is $400 a week. We're just gonna play around. So I'll take $400 a week plus 400. So I did fuel, truck, trailer, insurance. So now I don't want you to get in trouble and go broke or anything. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take out $1,500 right out of your paycheck ahead of time to cover fixed cost, escrow, and all that good stuff, right? So we're going to take $1,500, right? $1,500 for fixed cost and escrow. That's paying your IFTA, 2290s, plates, oil changes, all that good stuff, right? So then we're going to go. So we took that out, right? Okay. So we're gonna plus that. So now we're at 4,700. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna pay ourselves. I like to make $2,500 just for me. That's just for me and my wife. Well, the bills are gonna be, put 1,000 of bills, 1,500 in the bank. We still got the 1,500 we save for fixed costs and escrow, which is like $70,000 a year. That's separate. And we got our truck, trailer, fuel, and insurance, right? So we're at 4,700. So plus 2,500. Okay. So that means we need $7,200 to pay a $300 a week trailer payment, part of it. Pay our 500. We're going to put away for our truck payment. We're going to pay our insurance of 3 to 500, and then we're going to pay our fuel of 2,000. And we haven't done a discount yet. And then we're going to give ourselves this. We're going to total that up, and you figure out what kind of miles you want to run. You want to run 2,500 miles a week around the house? Okay, 2,500. See, look, so you take 72, right? Divide by 25 equals, that's 288 a mile. So if I empty and load it, all miles. So if my fuel goes up this week, then I need to go and add more to that, right? If I want to run 3,000 miles, then average it out, because I can tell you if you don't make $7,200 a week for the next 50 weeks, then you're really going to have a problem with that one truck authority. You know what I mean? And here's what's crazy out there. If you take 7,200 and you divide that by 3,000 miles, that means your cost is 240 a mile to give yourself a $2,500 paycheck. Put $1,500 away for fixed cost, plates, escrow, breakdowns, non-warranty type shit, so you can have it sitting there. Plus, you're gonna do this, and it's like everybody's like, "Oh, that guy's so stupid, 240 a mile," and I'm like, I didn't say you had to operate at 240 an hour. I'm just telling you, most of you motherfuckers aren't making 240 a mile on empty and loaded on all miles everywhere you go with your hot shots, box trucks, straight trucks. That's why you don't have money. That's why you're sacrificing that 2,500 a week, because if you don't pay the rest of this shit, you're not even going to be operating anyway. So it don't matter, because your safety score is going to be screwed up. And see, here's what's stupid about it. All you guys that are out there that are in these groups, not my people, but a lot of people that are out there that haven't ever met me before, you guys are out there, and I just did 7,200 for you to make 2,500. So if you got to pay a driver and you're not making over 7,200 for 50 weeks, then you're going to give him 2,000 and you're only going to make 500. But don't worry, you still got to pay your fucking dispatcher 10% or 5% because they're holy Jesus that fell out of the sky. So now you don't even have $500 if you're only do 7,200 a week. So hopefully the next week you'll do 9, and the next week you'll cover that back up if the freight's there, right? Because if you got to cut, if you want 2,500 or even 1,500, then you got to add another 2,000 for the driver. So you're still at $8,500 or $9,500. That's not for 1 week. That's for 50 weeks. So I'm sitting in all these Facebook groups looking at these dispatching services and all this stuff that's going on. And I'm wondering how the fuck people can make that. Because if you need $9,000 a week to pay your company driver and make you a paycheck for your investments. So if your truck breaks down, right? And your truck breaks down, what are you going to do? And then the other part is, have you thought ahead? Because it's funny how people come in when they have good credit, they have money as investors. And then the minute they buy equipment, do drivers, use the dispatching service, next thing they're fucking broken. By the time they figure out that their savings wasn't enough, then they're like, damn, man, we should have actually learned how to do some dispatching ourselves and add on a couple owner operators while we had the money to buy the trailers and help the owner operators so we could charge them 15 to 20% to cover the insurance and to give us the extra 1,000, $1,500 a week, and that cut. I mean, two owner operators could give you $3,000. What would that do if your company driver is down and you had a good one and you wanted to pay for the guy? You know what I mean? So questions are from the annual analyst. So questions are the rates that we are seeing, the normal rates before COVID, pretty much. It's really weird because it's crazy because it's so confusing right now because you got so many carriers that are still making shit tons of money. It's like nuts. They're like haven't fit a beat. They're ready for your trucks to flop. They can't get trucks fast enough. Then you got this other 75% of people out here that are out there that aren't booking their own loads. They don't even know how to build a relationship. They can't talk more than, hey, hey, I was calling on a load. Yeah, what do you need? Well, I was calling to see when's it pick up? Oh, when's it deliver? Yeah. What's the weight on that load? Yeah. And then the broker says, what can you do it for? Well, what kind of rate do you have? Well, what rate do you have? Well, I was asking you first. Well, okay, well, then we want to do this much. And you're like, is that really all you got? Well, you asked me what I wanted. Well, what do you want? Well, can you do? I mean, you already shot the rate so low. I don't want to insult you. Can you do like 12 or 13 on that? I mean, gosh, yeah, I'd really want to do that, but that's really all I got in it. We can't do nothing right now because and what's fucked up is right before that conversation started, you heard them say this is new customers. That's because all the stuff on the load board is leftover shit bouncing from one customer. So you dumbasses will do it for the cheapest dollar because nobody sticks together. You got people out there that are doing videos every night, 3 hours a night that want to talk about people that teach and train. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. People are trained because they're not doing it right now. Fuck, man. I know what it's like to live in a fucking truck with my daughter in it and have 3 trucks using a cricket stick on top of Vail because it's the only place you can get internet so you can do payroll so those guys can have their paycheck on time to feed the family. And I know what it's like to have to pay 25 people and to make another 60 fucking carriers their paycheck too when you're dispatching them, because if they don't, you feel really bad when they go out of business and their drivers lose their stuff. You see these people out here, you got people out here driving around doing YouTube videos and stuff at the life of them on the road, and they have one truck and that's all they have and they're barely making it. They're using you to do it. And these one truck warriors that are out there at least on with people running all over the country, and they've never even jumped out there and got their own authority. And these are the people that are out there with one truck. They're not even got an authority, right? They're just owner operators, leased on all over the place, suggesting these services and stuff that you should go use and all that, but they don't even do it themselves. Like literally, they couldn't even tell you what it's like to have authority and have your safety score go conditional in a matter of minutes, right? And other people out there with one truck, and they tell you they could add more trucks and run a company of more trucks, but they've never done it themselves. They can't tell you what it's like when it's wintertime and you're working with a factoring company and you got $100,000 in invoices that 25 drivers are sending FedEx envelopes across the United States to make sure they get it there in time, and the weather holds it up, right? So, there's a lot of variables going on. Number one, a lot of customers are talking about when you have product that's not even worth selling, even though people need it, and it's not worth shipping, and they're not manufacturing. You got the car industry that's changing every minute. You got all these trucks. You got Amazon doing what they're doing, where they're going to start delivering packages with drones here in the next 5 years, and all the box trucks that had 10-year plans just lost their 10-year plan, right? And all these warehouses and home delivery where they're going to do cars and the ship's going to move in and they're going to move it. So everything's changing. Like, I mean, just look at Walmart. You don't even check yourself out in most of these places anymore, and you want to argue about change. It's a different world, different business. And the freight, we're in a repercussion. I mean, our interest rate, our inflation is through the roof. Stores are still empty. Stuff ain't worth buying. People can't afford to travel. People still aren't work. All this stuff comes in, and you had 200,000 authorities come in last year. What the fuck you think's happened? And then you got another 300,000. I almost bet you there's over 500,000 dispatching services out there. I mean, you look at people like Good Energy, man. Why don't you guys go look up Good Energy's MC number and look at all the outage services his whole trucking company has. It's right there, public information. But this guy, people out, I mean, you just think of the stupidity that you don't have to do any of this stuff. You can actually sit down, build a network of customers and brokers before you even start. Like literally, one person tells me they can't, one person calls me up and she tells me no one will use her in the first 90 days. Then I get these other people in my office that are posting with direction where they're calling out all this time, and they actually have brokers calling because they're telling them what they really want. It's like, You most of you guys think you're cool because you post your truck, and then you get mad because all these people call you and they offer you shit you don't want. Why didn't you tell them what you fucking wanted? And why didn't you tell them farther out than 2 days? And you wonder why. When you call people up and you have a conversation that sounds intelligent about what you're talking about, and you actually try to do more than just book one load, see, but that's the problem. And when you have all these dispatchers all over the place, that's all they know. I got to book that load, get that sucker on that load, and I'm charging them and getting me a percentage. I'm kidding. I'm going to get this shit. What we do next? I don't know. We give me another one. Well, what we do next week? I don't know, but when we get there, we're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna do it again. Yeah. You know what? Is that for real? Like, people are laughing at you guys like crazy. Like, I mean, that's not real. I mean, it's just so crazy, and it's so brainwashed that people are like, you cannot do it yourself. You have to have somebody down the road. I'm sitting there going, hold on. What did you say on the radio YouTube channel there? While watching on my radio thing on the app on my laptop on the stand right there. What did you say? You can't. I'm an owner operator. Get on my door. Oh, you can't do anything on the phone. Okay, so I can't get a load board before I start. Wait, hold on. Your guys are the dispatchers telling me I can't do it on my own. How'd you get load boards? You don't have an MC number. Oh, so I can't get one without an MC number. I got to be active first, and then I got to wait till I'm active to actually start making calls because no one wants to use me because I don't know where I'm going because I have no plan, right? So I don't know what I'm doing. So now I'm stuck listening to this person because I bought an F550 and me and my wife are out there sitting in fucking Connecticut for 5 days because some dude moved me on 3,600 up there. Now I'm broke because all that money's gone. But don't worry, he made his 10%, right? I don't understand. I just don't get it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I always wondered when I was dispatching 30 and 70 different carriers with the two offices and stuff. I always wondered. I never said why would somebody not do it themselves? Like I literally never let nobody but Vicky dispatch any of my trucks like the whole time. So it was always bizarre to me that other people are doing it because how do you grow if you don't build relationships or control your trucks? I mean, you could hire a dispatcher to work for you that understands stuff, but he needs to work for your company, not 30 others. You know that, right? I mean, if you just one truck, you're giving away all your profits that you needed and you wonder why you're broke and the load board suck and your dispatcher's got no answers for you, your fault. You know what I mean? And why you're like, well, I just can't get it ahead of the breakdowns and stuff. This guy, and then when I get it, the loads fall out. And then I'm just getting stuck and all this stuff like that. Well, I mean, why? I mean, you're not driving, so why did you even buy a truck in the first place? Why did you just actually learn how to dispatch and invest in some owner operators with the trailers they don't have and flip your money that way and make money? I mean, what are you doing? I mean, if you don't start running your company with one truck with a driver, obviously you're an investor. How are you going to diversify with owner operators? You know what I mean? And then owner operators get, I don't know, just let the guys in Chicago and Michigan and all those other guys do it. They seem to be good at it all over the place. They got hundreds of them while you're sitting there wondering why you're fucking up, but they're making a killing, right? I get it. I talk to people all the time. I literally was on this guy from Mississippi the other day, and I'm like, he called me up, and it's funny because he called me up, and I gave him lots of advice, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm going to do an insurance quote with you, but I got this lady, and I was like, okay, so you're just going to work with that lady? He says, yeah. She promised if she did me a quote, I would give her a shot first. And I'm like, okay, so you're a one truck owner, and you're putting a driver in a truck. How are you going to get freight once you get the insurance? He said, I'm going to use a dispatcher. You ever used him before? No, I just found him on Facebook. I was like, oh, that's great. And I was like, well, how much are you going to pay your driver? When's your driver quit? What are you going to do? Well, that's not going to happen because they probably helped me find a driver. I got this in the bag. I'm like, so you're going to go with the first $20,000 quote she gave you? You didn't check anywhere else? Can you add trucks with it? Where do you place your drivers? Can you grow in your first year? Whenever that company driver quits and your truck's sitting and your dispatcher has no answer for you, what are you going to do? How are you when the truck breaks down and there's no parts coming? How are you going to add? Does your wife have a really good job to pay for you? What are you making like $1 million, a couple $100,000 a year, and this is your side gig? I mean, do you not? I mean, I understand your brain's set into this problem because your buddy Jimmy was doing it, but is your buddy Jimmy going to give you his customers? I mean, these are just things I'm thinking about out loud. Guys, if you agree or talk or think of anything that I've said and you want to learn how to diversify yourself, take control of your trucking company, not depend on a dispatcher, learn how to build relationships in this market that we're going to be in for the next 2 years, I guarantee it. I will quote it on the Bible right now that this is not going to stop in the next 2 years, and we haven't seen the end of it yet. We're going to roll right through this season in hell, and we're not going to see anything. If we do see it, I bet you it's in March of next year. I'm just telling you. Pay attention. Start networking like crazy. You don't need to be on the low boards. I'm telling you, between e-carrier check and posting with direction, learning the network and telling people what you need for a longer period than 2 days, and stop worrying about if you cancel something. You guys realize half these brokers are double booking you because they don't trust you half the time. You guys know that? Like, you know how many people are screwing themselves up because they get to places and they're like, well, we can't book two loads. Well, why do the brokers cancel on you? They always tell you it's their customer and all that, and you're supposed to take it. So you're not allowed to do it to them when they're half ass fucking TQL and shit. You know what I mean? C.H. Robinson, Coyote, Outlun, Sadtech, Integrity, Ledge, that going to Lipsy and all those motherfuckers. You think they care about you? They don't give a shit about you. That's why when the rates drop or it gets out of margins, watch, they'll fire people. They'll lay them off. I mean, they're hiring these kids right out of college and getting out of the military, different things because they want jobs. They literally recruit them, right? And they bring them in and they put them in these systems, the carrier reps. They're like, you're talking to these people like they're really brokers, right? You're like, hey man, yeah man, thanks man, you're really taking care of it. First thing they fuck you, they don't have something because somebody sends down the order to the military command. You're like, Jimmy, man, I thought we were friends. Yeah, man, I'm quitting next week, man. I was only at this job for a while, man. This ain't like my full time. I'm just a counter. I make like $15, $20 a month. Shit, I have to go to therapy lessons because of the shit I have to go through listening to people's call all the time, man. I'm just a carrier relationship, and you call that's not a relationship. That's not a person you talk to. You need to learn who you need to get with, what kind of brokers you need to work with. And it's so funny too, because you see one person after another right now posting because of a double broker and a fraud that's going on. And then you guys go and open your trucking companies and allow somebody you have no clue, never met them on Facebook, FMCSA, they called you randomly. You haven't researched or looked them up, and you allow them to run your company. Like from day one, like that was a great idea. The great idea is you should have got just like them started networking and learning where you want to run that local area, where you're going to move, that dedicated, that regional. You should have blasted that out and started doing it so that in the week that you're getting set up, you're waiting for your IRP and plates because you can't even get that until you pay your insurance. And if you didn't have the plates before, you're probably going to wait a week for 30 days because no one told you that. Why don't you set up your packets? You're like, I mean, how hard is it? Hold on. You like you're driving around. You guys are all like, we never text and drive. Oh, we never look at our phone. Everything's done by technology, Facebook. We don't do anything. Hell, we don't get parking spots. We don't look ahead. We don't use Google Maps while we're driving. We don't do anything, man. We just see everybody out there doing it. But I know you can't sit here while you're driving down the road and put your stop for a second. Go click, 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 sign, tab, stitch with attach, send. Oh, I'm done. Well, why would we do that? Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're just going to book one load at a time and just play the load boards and go up and down on the spot market, I guess so. But if you like had a connection of 25 brokers in a 150-mile radius or 100 brokers that you knew that had specifically the freight you wanted and they knew they could count on you instead of a one-time done it thing or a price gouge because the dispatcher wants the most they can because they don't know no better type shit, well, then that's what you fucking get. You know what I mean? That's your fault. But anyways, I have a trucking webinar in 30 minutes, and I know everybody's waiting for the password. It's going to be a great night tonight, and it's going to be awesome. And in 10 days, 13 days, we have one of the best dispatching webinars that's going to ever happen around. And if you guys are out there using a dispatching service, you're getting ready to start your authority. You got a wife at home that could be doing it for you. You guys don't understand the logistics of trucking. You have a 2-hour orientation and thought that was smart. You guys got company trucks that don't understand how to diversify or change your company now or what to do with that equipment. You guys want to learn how to build a 7-day plan and make a product that you can actually look at for 50 weeks and know that the people are going to have the freight there for you instead of worrying about it falling out. Tell me you wouldn't want to be pre-planned 3 and 5 loads at a time. Come on. Learn your numbers and your costs, because you guys that are out there that have these people that are running you and you think it's going to be like that, you better start understanding your numbers to a T and start understanding your maintenance and your breakdowns and start getting a lot closer to home and not get stuck on the road. Because when you lose a day, that's for you guys right now. Whether you think this or not, your cost of operations is probably $1,400 to $2,000 a day. A day. You have to do that for 50 weeks. You can't afford not to do that in this business. Well, Miss Samantha Garwood, you're going to have to take my dispatching class and I'll fucking teach you how to book out that far. I'll teach you how to build a local and dedicated route and get people home. I'll teach you where you don't even have to get on the load boards no more. But I'm not going to do it on here because you got all these peckerheads out here that want to teach you how to get on the load board and be like, well, I'll book it and post and freaking do packets. And they think the almighty top 40 people because they're too busy. They don't research. And don't tell me I'm wrong, because every day I got these people calling me, my students, my previous students, and they're like, hey man, what happened in the market? I'm like, hey man, if I was a customer or a broker that hates fucking posting loads on the board, and there's a lot of them, would I be able to find you? And if I found you posted out, could I see you? And if I seen you, would you tell me what I wanted to know before I called you in the information? No. Oh, well then where's all the brokers that were paying you so good that were on the load board a month ago? Well, they disappeared. Oh, so who's there now? The ones that say, no, I can't even give you $100. This is all I got all day long until the load's last minute. Then they come back up on the freight. Oh, I got you. I got you. Interesting. Huh. Sounds like it's working well for you. Guys, go to shaggysconsulting.com. We have like 7 spots left for next week in the dispatching. It's time. Everybody can take turns learning something for somebody else. No one is perfect. Give yourself a chance to see things in a different view. And if you have never taken a trucking, brokering, dispatching webinar that's from 6 to 11 o'clock at night, sometimes 12, we can't even kick the students out. Like, I'll literally take selfies, right, with us tonight. They won't leave because there's so much information that you guys think you know out there. You don't have a clue. Like, you literally, and I am not God's gift to earth, right? I'm not. I just built a trucking company really fast, kept it a really long time, and I've helped thousands of people, no joke, open their own trucking companies, man. I'm telling you guys, I've helped you. I've helped so many people. Just ask, man. I can name them off. It's not even joking. Like, these people are in the group helping other carriers because they want to, because it helps them grow. Literally all over the place. You got Myers helping this person helping this person, these people behind the scenes. I don't even know what all is going on. It's just, I just keep hearing about it. And it's so with a movement like that, that's what it's about. And so why don't you guys take control of your business? Why are you guys fucking treating this like bullshit and just joking around with your livelihoods, your social security numbers, and your money? Who said that? Somebody said you guys don't know shit, just like I did a few months ago. I don't know who said it. See, I can't see everybody that's coming on here. It's like weird. I got them coming from 4 different groups. So, but if you guys are in hot shot, or I can't really help the box truck guys, but I can give you lots of tips how to do it, man, and stuff like that, and how to spam. But I mean, you guys really got to take control. Stop listening to these people. If they're talking about it's easy, they're not talking about liability claims or having plans. And it's not, I know there's people out there showing these spreadsheet things and everybody's grabbing them, but don't be following it. You know what I mean? Oh, Kyle Myers said that. Hell yeah. You look at Kyle Meyer. I just can't name them all. There's just so many guys. All right. So I got to go because it's 26 after. Join the boot camps, join the webinars, learn multiple streams of income. Learn diversity from day one, because this business is unforgiving and no one's going to write the check for you. It's like you are the only boss. Your partners aren't going to save you. These dispatching services aren't going to save you. Your brokers aren't going to save you unless you have relationships. When you have relationships, those people are the ones that call and they know your kid. They know that you have swim meets. They know what's going on. See, there's a difference between who you're working with and who you should be working with. How do you do that when somebody else is doing it for you? That's my question. Take control of your business, become your own boss, learn how to have income coming in for when things happen, not your wife's job. Please share everything to everywhere and please keep pushing the movement. Later.